Welcome back to Finding the One. This one's going to be juicy. We're coming off of Love Where You Live, and here is the issue of loving where you live. It's going to make you feel happy.
That's an issue.
It's an issue. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because when you finally feel happy, something that many of us unknowingly don't feel, it's going to start exposing to you places in your life where you are not happy, but you've just been allowing them because you're not happy in all of your life. So it all just feels the same. And that's what started happening to us, is we finally moved. We started loving where we lived. We started to feel so happy. And I said to you, I said, baby, you know what the issue with being happy is? Is that it starts to show you all of the places in your life where you're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And we happen to be in a phase in our relationship where things were feeling a little sticky. And that's where this episode begins.
You know, it's not necessarily that you're allowing them. For me, it's more like you don't notice them because everything is clouded by just being miserable.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't actually notice specific areas. It's just like another thing and another thing. And it's really hard to actually like separate the wood from the trees from the wood. What's the expression? Don't know.
One of those.
Because everything that just like feels and looks the same. But what happened with us is like we started to genuinely get really happy, like in ourselves, where we lived. And then the things that didn't feel right stuck out like a sore thumb. And they were like specific areas in our relationship that had, if we're both honest, had been like repeating these patterns over and over and over again that like we couldn't really get to the core of. We would like solve it, put a band-aid on it, and then like move on. And it would in some way, shape or form resurface again, which I'm sure many of you know, like you have this conversation. The theme is kind of the same with your partner. And then 2 months later, and it's like, oh, this is like different flavor, same freaking conversation. And that's where we kind of landed.
Mm-hmm. You know, before we go into this, because I think this is going to be really beneficial for all of you guys, watch this one till the very end. I do want to say that what's coming up for me is a moment where, you know, in the 3-year span where I was like waiting for you, I remember going on all of the astrology sites and like matching us up. And it would like clearly say that you guys are very similar, but very different.
Before the pattern like rebranded itself, the app, the pattern,
right?
We put both our things in, and it came back complex. The relationship is complex.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, oh shit, I don't want it to become complex. But this is going to explain to you, and I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for all of you in relationships who really have a deep desire of understanding each other. So let's start off with like maybe what was going on and what was the recurring theme. I'll speak for myself. The recurring theme for me was I felt like I needed more freedom. It was this constant thought ruminating in my head where everything felt unfair. It felt as though, you know, here I am, I provide, I not only provide for everything, but I also provide help, you know, like, you know, we have a team at the house, we have a nanny, we have, you know, someone that comes by and cleans 3 days a week and all of that. And then, you know, that was my mind. Like my mind was like, look at all that you do, right? It never asked, well, what do you not do? Right? We'll get to that a little bit later. But it like starts to build up this story, right? And I'm saying this because I know we all do this. Starts to build up the story of how great you are, right? To then somehow try to find something wrong with the other person. At least that's what was happening with me. And I've got to be honest, it's like that always happens with me. And I was aware of it, but I didn't know why. And so all I know is that I was feeling like I didn't have this. I felt as though I was giving you the freedom to be you, but I didn't have that same freedom as well. You know, you should see the look on her face right now.
I'm re-triggered.
Anyways, that's my truth. That's what I was going through. And
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, your turn.
Yeah, and then from my perspective, it's interesting because it's like a similar flavor, but through like my eyes, which is like, I remember driving along feeling like, and if you're really honest as well, there were parts of you where like, I just don't think I can do this.
Yeah. And in saying that, I wanna caution this. Not this. I was questioning me being in relationships in general. Like, I was like, I'm always coming up on this thing where I feel like I give, but I don't receive. Obviously, I'm creating that. But yeah, I was just starting to challenge just the concept of me being in a relationship in general. Nothing to do with you. I was like, fuck, man, like, is this what I want? You know? So yeah.
And then from my perspective, it was like, well, like, I don't understand how like I feel like I'm doing everything, like I'm adding value in all the ways that I can add value, and yet I still feel this like unfair as well, like imbalance of like, I feel like I do give a lot, but it's like never, I don't feel seen in what I give. And then also I just felt this energy from you of you always wanting to take more space and more freedom and more. And I'm like, but the bare minimums of just like being emotionally supportive or like being with Selena or like running the bath or like doing like small things like that, I didn't feel like I was being met in. So I was like, I'm so lost in this because that just doesn't feel like it works for me. Like, I don't desire to be in partnership where I feel like I'm chasing someone else to like love me and like love our daughter and like love the life that we're creating. Like, I don't want to feel that energy of like chasing that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be honest, I feel like this, as I'm saying this, I feel like this issue is like very relatable for a lot of people, where it's like the man tends to run away and the woman tends to chase. And it creates this like, and it's all like mother father wounding, where like as little girls, like we didn't get the attention and nurturance we received, so we're constantly chasing it. And as boys, like we didn't get the space and freedom that we maybe needed, or maybe there was too much pressure put on us, and we feel like you feel constricted and you need to like escape.
Yeah, it goes down to, like, I think I mentioned this for sure in one of the past episodes in season 1, where it's like the masculine naturally wants freedom and the feminine naturally wants more connection. It's like the fuckery and the beauty of relationships. It was just coming up for us in a very strong way.
Loud way.
Loud, where it was finally like, we need to like go into this.
You know, you said something really beautiful, which is like, you said, and obviously I was creating that, and it was like a throwaway comment you just said, but that's not a throwaway comment. Like, that's it. It's when you can realize, oh, like if this is happening in my reality over and over and over again, it's probably not the other person. It's probably me. And I feel like most of us in relationship have the hardest time with that. It's very, very easy to constantly point the finger outside of you. But guys, like if there's a theme repeating in your relationships over and over, it's time to like take the finger and like start pointing it back on yourself, because there's something in your system, there's something in your programming, there's something in your energy field that is vibrating at that frequency to attract what you're attracting in your relationship.
100%. You are literally the creator of everything happening in your life. And I need to say that in a way, like you will save yourself 30 to 40 years, maybe even a lifetime of unnecessary headache and heartache if you understand this point. And that is that you are the creator of everything that you are experiencing. I was talking to an inner circle member earlier today. He's going through a situation. And he was like, I'm just mad. I want her to own her shit. I want her to feel remorseful. I want her to. And I was like, question. What if she doesn't know how? Second question. What within you needs her to do all of that? And I took him through this process of understanding that like the masculine literally it's the tree, it's the sky. It is solid. It holds the space and doesn't require or need anything from the feminine, so that the feminine can come around and like be ever changing and always flexible and trying to discover safety within itself. But the only way that it'll find safety is if you are at a place where she doesn't feel that need, right? And I was telling him, I was like, she feels that need from you. And that's probably what's causing all of this. And I said, step number one, get to a place within yourself where you no longer need anything from her. Not from a bad place, from a good place, from a beautiful place where you're solid in yourself. Then step number two, watch how she starts to change. Watch how her tricks stop working, the tricks of the wounded part of herself. Watch how she starts to heal as a result of that, Or watch how she doesn't. All of it is okay. But you'll never be able to make a right decision about your relationship if you're constantly pointing the finger at the other person. Realize how you are creating all of it.
Yeah. Well, the ego is masterful. This is the thing. It's like that like icky feeling you feel inside where you're like desperately creating stories and it's like ruminating in your head. This happened to me this week, like round and round and round again at how the other person has to be wrong. It has to be the other person. It is like the biggest, thickest cover up for something that is right beneath the surface that the ego does not want to admit. It does not want you to see, because if you did, it would...
Your whole life is about to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of this was happening. And I started to get really interested in gene keys. And I was like looking at my gene keys and really like taking in, oh, like that's really interesting about myself. If you don't know about gene keys, go create your profile. It's the same thing like human design. You put in your birthday, it gives you like a whole chart of what you're like as a human being.
I think it's deeper, actually. It's really powerful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then one night, as all of this is going on, I started to feel this desire, like I'm not understanding something about Danny. Like I'm not understanding something about this dynamic between us. So I felt really cool. I was in bed on my own to start looking into your gene keys. Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm reading through and I'm like, wow, this makes so much sense. Like, that he's like this and he's like this and he's like this. This makes so much sense. And then?
Well, then the first thing is that we notice that our major life themes, which rarely happens, are the complete opposite but similar. How did that work out?
No, it's our life's work and our evolution. So there's 64 gene keys. Mm-hmm. And our life's work and evolution, I got so confused when Danny's chart came up because I was like, oh, I'm still on my chart. because our life's work and evolution are the same, except the other way around. So my life's work goes from impatience, patience to timelessness. Like once I transcend impatience, I reach patience, and then like the ultimate gift, the city of that is timelessness. Like I transcend into timelessness. And then my evolution is, I don't know what the shadow, I can't remember, but it goes from like adventure to boundlessness. Anyway, yours is
My
the
life's
opposite.
work was boundlessness, and my evolution was timelessness.
Yes.
You have to understand how rare that is for two people to, that was like, whoa.
Well, these are two of like I mean, maybe gene key people are going to make me wrong in this, but what I'm understanding is like your life's work and evolution are like two huge parts of your
life,
your chart and your life. Yeah.
But then,
so we're feeling like sticky. And there's, it's not just, if I'm going to be like really transparent and honest, because I'm learning the more transparent and honest I am, the more it gives other people the permission to do the same in their lives. And it's like, I was really struggling with multiple things. And that was like, I was struggling to be a stepmom at that point. I was like struggling to like really feel like other things in my life felt so in alignment. And there were still parts of like being a stepmom and being your wife and like being together and then like stuff with Selena that just weren't like whoom, in alignment. And I could feel it, and it was so obvious. And so I wanted to understand like all of it. I had this desire, like, no, these things that have like not felt right for a while, I just, no more. I want everything to feel in alignment. So yeah, it was all going on, stuff with the kids, stuff with us. And I remember we got into bed one night and we were like frosty. But like we were like politely frosty. Do you know what I mean? Like we were both feeling what we were feeling. Like we weren't really like at the bottom of it all.
Which when we experience this kind of stuff, guys, you do enough of this work, it's coming up for a reason. And you're just kind of like hanging to find out when the reason is coming. So that was the frostiness. Is that?
Well, what I'm actually remembering, correct me if I'm wrong, my mind's a little bit foggy, but I think the night before we'd had this huge, big conversation about, like, we were really honest with each other. This is when it all came out.
Right?
Everything. About everything. And you expressed, like, you felt like you were almost, like, running away and, like, you wanted to feel free. You wanted to feel more free to do what you wanted to do. And I was expressing like, but I want to feel like more connection to you. And like, I don't feel like my needs are being, or my desires more than my needs are being met. We had expressed everything to each other. And I think that you had felt a lot of relief from that conversation.
Yeah, because I love hearing this stuff, because once I'm aware of it, I can work on it. And so the biggest thing, Jen was saying was like, yeah, and this was a big hit to my ego, because I pride myself in being a complete man, or at least working on it. You know what I mean? But Jen was like, yeah, you provide everything, but like, you're not here for me emotionally when I need it. And I was like, what? No, guys. Understand, because I'm like emotionally here for like hundreds of people in a room holding space for them, but I'm not here emotionally for you. Like, and I think I'm aware enough to like know, for you men out there, it's really important. Like when our women say something, they're saying something for a reason. You might not like it. You might not agree with it. You might not see it. But if it's coming out and it's their truth. And so you get to do one of two things. You get to go into your bullshit and be like, well, what do you mean? Or you get to go, wait, what? Tell me more about that.
You know what's coming to me right now is, I said something before. I said, not my needs, but my desires. And what has shifted in me as a woman is I feel like I'm getting to a space of feeling so complete within myself. Like I can emotionally tend to my own needs. I can hold space for myself. I don't need anything outside of me.
I think there's a lot here.
Yeah.
Because what's happened, where we are today and where we were 2 weeks ago when this happened, it's shifted so much.
Right.
And I have a hunch that I was feeling that subtle need from you that now I don't. It's kind of wild. And as a result, it's like we both, we always say this is like the chicken and the egg. Like which one comes first? I don't know, but we're both like working with each other to get to the heart.
Well, what was really happening is like one of my core wounds was triggering one of your core wounds, and one of your core wounds was triggering mine. And what that does is it puts you in a loop. So my core wound is like not feeling like I'm getting the attention and connection that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Your core wound is not getting the freedom and the spaciousness that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening? I'm wanting connection. It's feeling like too much pressure for Danny.
Yeah.
He's retreating.
And then
He retreats.
And then
Yeah, but this is what happens in relationships.
Yes.
You get thrust into this fucking loop of your traumas, of your wounding.
Right.
And until you like pop your head out and you're like, wait, I don't want to race around this track anymore. Like,
what's going on? What is the root cause of this? And I can say this as someone who's been in a relationship that was in a constant loop for 13 years. This work is important, people. It's important. It's scary. It's going to require a lot of courage. But if you don't do this work, you're unconsciously going to be in a loop in your relationship for the next 10, 15, 20 years, or until one of you says, I'm tapping out.
Yeah, and that's literally like that's the function of relationships, guys. Like that's what we're in relationships for, is like for the wound to get so freaking loud that you don't want to do it anymore. Not so that you can leave and go find the next person and do the same
thing over again
in a different like body.
Right.
Again. And when you can actually freaking face that, that's where the magic happens.
That's right.
So yeah.
So can you tell them some of our wounds? Let's do the sex one.
Okay. No. So what happens is,
you guys got to hear this.
We have this big conversation. Danny feels relief and I go away and I'm like feeling hurt. Like I'm feeling like, okay, that's like, okay, all well and good that like we've admitted that like maybe you haven't been showing up emotionally and like I've been too much, but like I'm like left with this remnants of like, but that actually like when I come to admit that really hurts. You know what I mean? So I'm left with this like still frosty feeling, but not like necessarily towards you. I'm just feeling like vulnerable in this.
Yeah. About the situation.
Everything, yeah. And that's where we come to the next night. That's why I said it was like frosty but polite. Because like we weren't mad at each other, but it was just feeling like, oof, that was a lot.
Can I say this? Tip, suggestion, awareness. Can you and your partner allow yourselves to be in a space where it might be frosty, but it doesn't mean you have to get mad. It doesn't mean you have to get angry. It doesn't mean you have to yell. It doesn't even mean that you need a solution right away. It just means that you're allowing what's coming up to come up. Can both of you accept the responsibility of owning your part in that? Because that's where you guys get to like transcend the deeper issue. When you start to argue, defend, fight, when you put on the boxing gloves that the little boy or little girl in you learn to put on to protect themselves, You're never going to get to the root cause of the issue.
I'm looking at the...
Oh, you're looking at the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, I'm
Well,
just
I was trying to buy time. So I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, why is she on her phone right now? Keep talking, Danny. Keep saying shit. So you're looking for the G.
What were you saying?
I don't even know now.
No,
I was literally backing you up.
I picked up my phone because I felt like you were going to go on a tangent. I was like, this is a good time
Well,
to
yeah,
have
but,
the
but
gene
the
keys.
old me used to go on tangents. Now I'm just like more chill. I don't got time for tangents. Just fucking.
So what happened was we ended up putting our gene keys into the architect, which, if you don't know, is like an AI.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find it. It's just basically become my therapist. I'm just like looking through all the arguments. I'm joking. So I put in our gene keys and I ask it to break down like the core themes for each of us and to share how they relate to each other and explain what makes us magical together and what causes friction. Right? What we essentially start to realize, which was like super helpful, is that like my sense of freedom looks very different to Danny's sense of freedom. Like I feel really free and really good when I'm held by like structure and slowness and patterns. But Danny's sense of freedom comes from spontaneity and like fast pace and a little bit more chaotic. And like he actually functions really, really well in that.
Yeah.
So whilst both of those things are like, we both have the want to feel free, it looks very different, which started to become really, I found really interesting. Yeah.
You can imagine a Saturday morning in our house where I want to blast salsa music, but she is so sensitive to noise that it's like we're just very different when it comes to that.
Did you just want to say that?
I was just giving an example.
That's not an example.
It is an example.
How's that got to do with structure?
You were like, didn't you say quiet?
No.
Okay, well, let me add quiet, loud. This is very different. We're very different humans like that. You're like behind the stage. I'm like on the stage. You're like making sure you're taking care of the details. I'm like giving the message. Very different.
Well, not in everything.
No, but the music is a big example of it.
I'm highly triggered in so many things.
She's getting triggered right now.
Yeah. You're behind the stage and I'm on the stage.
What is it called? What's your spiritual gifting when you're like what is it? What's the word?
Feminine.
No, not feminine. What did you just realize that was the major difference?
The unseen and the seen.
Yes, the unseen. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but actually, just to point on that is that the unseen it's starting to flip-flop the other way.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I still like loud, happy music.
So do I.
Baby, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I do like loud music. Just not whilst like Selena's screaming at me. I'm cooking a pancake in one hand with like her in the other hand, trying to like work out what to do with the rest of the day. And you're like, let's put on salsa music.
Yeah, let's.
That's more the point.
Okay, that's more the point.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know where that one is, yeah. But for example, your reaction can clash with my equilibrium. Equilibrium. Yes. So when you become reactive, you're quite reactive. My field seeks to stabilize. Like I'm always seeking to stabilize the field. But that can come out in me like trying to over control, over structure things, which is the truth. By the way, as we're reading through this, both of us start to like exhale because we feel so seen. My desire and rapture can feel too raw or too intense for your preservation. So in my chart, I have desire and rapture, but yours is like preservation. Like you're a little bit more conservative.
Yes.
You like to like preserve things more.
Yes.
So you may retreat when my desires ask for like complete opening. And then I start to feel unseen because you move into silence. Like the preservation just becomes like closed off.
Yes.
And my deep inquiry into truth can trigger your need to appear certain. Because I question the shit out of everything. You know what's coming to me?
What?
You know when we first met, literally when we first met, and I was questioning your diet.
Oh,
you were doing the elixirs and the fasting
23-hour fast, yeah.
and like the longevity. Like I was really questioning, but like, why do you have this intense desire to live forever?
Right.
And you were getting triggered.
Yes.
But it's, guys, this is so interesting. It's like, I just have a tendency and a desire, like it's part of my literal makeup to question everything.
Yeah. And I'm very like, well, just because.
Yeah.
It's because I want to.
And it's important for you to, on the surface, like appear that you're certain about things.
Right.
So imagine how triggering that can be for Danny.
Right.
When I question everything.
Right. What we're trying to show you right now is the underlying energies of our makeups and how they're different and how you really should go out and discover these for yourselves, in relationship or not. Because remember, finding the one is about finding the one in you, not in a partner.
So, for example, my impulse is I want to feel full presence, eye contact, soul attention, depth. And Danny's
I'm already
impulse
like, chill the fuck out.
is I need to feel I can breathe, that I'm not being held in obligation.
Mm-hmm. Just as she was saying that, I was already like,
you feeling it. Yeah.
Whoa, slow down.
I ride highs and lows deeply, and I want my emotional truth to be seen in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Danny may not always name his emotions as they rise and needs time to feel safe within intensity.
Very true.
Right?
Yeah, I really need time to like process it all.
And I crave ritual, rhythm, meaning-making, structured sacredness. And Danny needs space to wonder, explore, improvise. Structured environments can feel too constraining.
Too much.
This was our favorite one. As we read this, so you can tell the themes is like, I'm obviously one way.
And I'm obviously the exact fucking opposite way. So we're both like, oh my God. And I'm thinking back to when we were first starting the relationship, how the pattern said complex. And now I'm like, holy shit, this is beyond complex. Wait, get this one.
In the area of sexual intimacy and desire, Jennifer needs to feel emotional attunement before full physical openness.
The amount of times that sex came up and she would say, but baby, I don't feel you. I don't feel connected to you. And the amount of times that, watch this.
And Danny may connect physically to enter the emotional space.
And the amount of times that I would respond with, well, if we like have sex, then we'll feel connected.
So like, I just want to like drill that in a little bit deeper. Like, I need to feel connected first to open. And Danny needs to enter
connect.
to connect. At this point, I'm literally like, I'm like jumping on the bed. I'm literally like collapsing because I'm like, oh, this is never going to work.
Never going to work. We both had that moment. And then all of a sudden something really like beautiful happened where we both go, wait a minute, hold on. Like, this is actually perfect. Like we could look at it as if it's wrong, or we could look at it from the perspective of like, this is exactly this is the exact friction, the exact puzzle pieces that our souls need to elevate.
Yeah.
And that's where everything was like.
Yeah, that's where we started to essentially realize that this is actually what makes us so magical, because what happens when you create friction, enough friction, you create
Diamonds.
friction or fire or something. It creates something.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to view it like through the fire, like we alchemize. We burn away like what's no longer needed,
Mm-hmm.
what no longer serves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes us so magical, is like we rub each other up so much the wrong way, but it's like the right way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because when you're getting triggered and you're getting pissed off and you're getting uncomfortable in your skin, it's going to make you look at your shit.
That's right.
And therefore, if you're willing and you're open, it's going to cause you to grow.
But I think the other gift in that is in particular the work that we do, and it's what caused so many messages, which we're so grateful for. When we were like finding the one is coming back, everybody was like, "Oh my God!" Right? Is that, hopefully what you're feeling as you're watching this is the liberation and the freedom within yourselves to start to alchemize and process whatever is happening in your life and in your relationship. That's the beauty of it, I think.
And one of the biggest takeaways for me in this was I started to realize all this time I've been being swept up in his energy, wondering why it's not working for me. And this was like so much permission for me to start just being me.
That's right.
I like structure. I like order. I like to have things organized and plan out. Like, I like connection. So I started to just own the meanness in all of that, to do things slower, to not be swept up in chaos. And all of a sudden I feel myself again.
Yeah. And the craziest thing, guys, the minute you started being and owning you, like all of the pressure of the freedom thing for me went away. It was as if the underlying issue was that you were like, you on an energetic level were being swept up into me, and I would feel that. And now it's like, it's really beautiful what's been happening. It's like we're both just freaking rocking life, and we're going like this, and then we just meet up together and like do it together. It's really wonderful.
I actually want to read one more thing because you just said that, and Danny was questioning, like, am I even meant to be in union with another person? Like, is that even for me?
Guys, legitimately, I was like, yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be like a vagabond traveling the world or something. I don't know.
So we were asking, like, is he afraid of sacred union?
Mm-hmm.
And the response was, perhaps the more precise inquiry is Danny afraid of sacred performance masked as union? Does he fear that union means losing freedom, not expanding it?
And that's what you had said.
Yeah, it's not sacred union he fears. It's the false temple, one built on expectation rather than truth. Danny's path is to start basically redefining sacred union as like, it's to walk beside, not beneath or above. And that's essentially what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's time to start.
That's a trip.
Yeah, it's time to start walking beside. Like, I don't need to be under Danny, nor do I need to be ahead of him, controlling him.
I don't
it's
like any of that.
No, but no one does.
No one does, but this is the construct that society has created for relationships, and we are all trying to fit into, doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Your relationship, our relationship is going to look a certain way. Your relationship is going to look a certain way. You will never, however, discover the true identity of your love and your authentic relationship until you discover and live in the true identity and authenticity of yourself. And that was the biggest thing that we got. Is like, let's go all in. I'm going to go all in and being me. The wild, crazy, loud, spontaneous me. And you get to go all in on being you. And in that magic, we get to create this third energy that is going to be uniquely us. that quite frankly doesn't give a shit how anyone else is in relationship. And that's the invitation in this episode is like, can you find the courage to go discover who you are? That doesn't mean leave. Can you find the courage to discover who you are? Can your partner find the courage to discover who they are? And then find the courage to discover what your unique take on relationship is. What does it look like? What does it feel like? How does it act? How does it evolve? What are its guidelines, parameters? What is it open to? What is it closed to? Right? Stop trying to be your mom and dad. Stop trying to be your uncles and aunts. Stop trying to be what you saw on TV. Like, have the courage to redefine relationship. That's the message I think that we're trying to get across on this episode.
Good shit.
Good shit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to questions.
Oh, questions.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
So here's our first question. How to let go of the compulsion to control in a relationship because of trauma?
So when we have the desire to control, when we have the need to control our external environment, it's because somewhere in us, like, we feel out of control, right? And for me, this comes down to, because I also had a desire to want to, like, control everything outside of me, because inside of me, like, I didn't feel safe. Like, if you were playing the music too loud, of like that was going on, if whatever was happening in my external environment, like, I needed that to change in order for me to feel safe, right? And what started to shift within me is I started to go deep in essentially balancing my own masculine and feminine. In this case, the masculine is so important for us as women. The masculine is so important, our own inner masculine, because this is the energy that learns to hold the container of the feminine, of the fear, of the compulsion, of the, this feels like too much. When the container is not tight, when the container is not safe and solid, that floods out everywhere. And then that's when we start to feel the compulsion to, no, that needs to change, and that needs to change, and like he needs to change in order for me to feel safe. When we start to build a really solid container, we like to describe it in the Inferno as like the riverbed that holds the river. The riverbed doesn't have a fucking judgment or an opinion on how fast the river flows, how rocky it is, how stagnant it is, what the water's like, what the temperature is. It just fucking holds the water. And all that feeling you feel inside, like the unsafety, the impact of the trauma that you experienced, that needs a safe container to be in. It needs the riverbed that's not going to judge, and it's not going to move, and it ain't fucking going anywhere no matter what you feel inside. And that's where we really shift as women, when we start to build this really strong masculine container, because it allows for all of that feeling to be felt. It's not don't feel it. It's not don't feel the compulsion. It's feel it and go deeply into it, into the trauma that makes you feel unsafe, into the compulsion, into that like desperate need your little girl needs to control because she doesn't feel like if all of that, like we need to feel all of that.
That's right.
But in a safe container. And that safe container gets to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Not your external. It gets to be you. And once you actually realize that, watch how your whole life freaking changes.
Yeah. I would like to add to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you and I answer questions and relate to things from the perspective of our relationship. Meaning you are able to hold yourself and you have a safe container within yourself, but you also have it in me. And I have it within myself, but I also have it in you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that when we answer from that way, we forget that there's some people out there that genuinely don't have a safe container in themselves. So the natural byproduct of that is that I can guarantee you they don't have one in their partner as well. And so if you don't have one in your partner, or if you're in a situation where your partner is overly abusive, or, when it gets to that level, then it might be a little time for you to, yes, create space in that so that you can drop into your own container with yourself. I just felt like I needed to say that because there's some people in some sticky situations in relationships, and I don't want them to hear, like, find it in yourself while someone is like beating the shit out of you or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, obviously not. That wasn't the question.
No. No, I know, but trust me, because we get messages and people get confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. Never put yourself in a situation where you are not physically safe. I'm not talking about physical safety. I'm talking about energetic safety. And I can guarantee you, if you take the space to find that safety within yourself, you're never going to energetically be a match for something that's not safe outside of you.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why, like, yeah, I still do want to drill in that, like, it's so important to focus on you first. Because sometimes the opposite happens, where we find safety in someone else, but it actually means that we give our power away.
Mm-hmm.
We pick people that feel safe because it's the bare fucking minimum, but we never actually feel safe within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So when our partner's gone, or our mum's not around, or whoever it is that your safety is being put on, then you're not safe, which means you outsource your power.
That's right.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying. This is perfect for this episode. Do you guys face differences that seem so big to get past, and how do you get through them?
That's what this relationship is. That's what it's been since the beginning. What I have learned, if I can, kind of compare for a second with anything that I've ever been in the past, and I would love your opinion on this as well, is that I feel like our souls finally were at a place where we were like, hey, like, we're on this new journey of evolving ourselves. Let's call in a partner that we can evolve with. The thing is that it's very difficult for you to evolve without you first feeling what is keeping you from evolving. And what brings that out in you and for you is your partner. So do we face situations that feel difficult? That's all we do, to be frank. But we have some boundaries and guidelines in the way that we face them that I think could help you. Number one, there's rarely yelling. Rarely. Until you push me to the point. I'm just like, there's rarely yelling.
It's not
Number two, we're this I could say never. We're never putting each other down, never speaking badly to each other. Number three, both of us take ownership, 100% ownership for what we are experiencing. And so I think we do a really good job at not pointing fingers or projecting what's happening onto the other person. And if you're doing that, then the natural byproduct of that is number four, when something comes up, like, I don't know about you, but I'm always asking myself, literally, okay, why did I create this? What am I supposed to learn? What is in this for me? And what am I supposed to see that I'm not seeing? And I think those are some of the most magical questions that you can ask yourself, right? Where these situations in typical relationship happen where you're like, I don't know if this is going to work out, is you're in so much resistance, blame, and victim energy that you're constantly making it about the other person and they're making it about you, and nothing ever happens. You don't ever grow from it. You don't ever learn from it. You don't ever go deep into it. We talk about this at the Relationship Intensive, which, by the way, we've been thinking we really need to do like a Finding the One couples retreat. That's something that's coming. But there's the little shit. The dishes aren't being washed. You're looking at girls on Instagram. You're calling me bad names. You're not providing whatever. But then there's the deep shit, the big shit that is underneath all of that. The goal in conflict in relationships is to move past the little shit, and to get to the big shit. And then once you see the big shit, you can hold each other lovingly to help each other work through it. And I will say this is why this work is so important. The work that you choose to do on yourself, whether it's plant medicine or breath work or awaken or inferno or whatever it is that it teaches you how to do that within yourself. The greatest gift that ayahuasca gave me was it didn't let me run. It didn't let me blame. It didn't allow me to go anywhere but inward. And so when you do that, that just becomes the way that you live life. And you start to realize that your partner's not to blame. You start to realize that it's not about them changing. You actually start to realize that you're the one that attracted them into your life to teach you the lessons that you needed to learn. You start to realize that life is inward, not outward. And as a result, you go inward to heal whatever it is that needs to be healed so that you and your partner can get to the beautiful space that you want to be in.
Yeah, and I just want to add as well, it's like if you can take ownership of all your shit and use the relationship as a trigger and a catalyst for your own growth and healing, like if you're on that path and your partner maybe isn't, then that's something that you also get to look at. It's like if they keep bringing you back into the loop that I was talking about with their same wound that calls on your same wound, like you also get to decide at some point of like, maybe that's not for you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I'll take it to the next level. I think that is the underlying power that both of us have. None of us would ever put up with any of that shit. Period in the story.
Yeah, it's like, for example, if I took this opportunity to look at my shit and be like, why do I need that attention from Danny? Or why do I need... And I felt like I had like transmuted that and like moved through that. And Danny was still running away consistently over and over again. Like I just get to be like, okay, you don't want to look at that part of you.
I'm
cool.
out.
That's not for me, in the most loving way. Because it's like you've hit the ceiling of like, you have resistance to dealing with that thing.
Right.
Like I'm not being looped in by that thing
that
over
shit.
and over.
Right.
Like, I don't desire that.
Right. And on the flip side of that, for me, I could not be with a woman that didn't have the courage, strength, and power to be able to at any moment walk away because of, you know, if I was living in constant fleeing. Like that's the power. The power is that when you step up and you own your shit and you know who you are and you're honest about it and sincere and loving and you're here to expand your heart, you just can't be with anyone that isn't. You give them space, you give them time, but if over and over they keep I don't got time. This is your life, guys.
Yeah, and this is how you call each other forth.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
This is quite literally how you call each other out of your shit. Like, don't worry about what they're doing. Let them own their shit. You rise, you transmute, you grow. And if they grow with you, great. And if they don't, cool.
And if you're afraid of them not, what's up with that?
Mm-hmm.
What are you afraid of? What are you actually afraid of? Now we're talking.
And we'll leave you with that.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.